Now, good evening, my fans. I'm here again, and this I want to tell you guys about Mark when he was on Ralston Hyman show 101 106 FM. I'm sorry, yeah, 106 FM, and he was there speaking about um the budget presentation and funding. So, guys, I want you to watch, I want you to listen at the end of this voice note and hear everything that he has to say. This man's a man of vision. This man, he loves people. This man is a people person. This man is a people who, he is for the people. As I said in almost every video, this man reminds me of the great, honorable Michael Manley. So, guys, please listen up and you will hear everything he has to say. So thank you.
Yes.
And fly high or fly low, that is the reality by the technical definition.
Yeah, man.
Come on, no one is glorifying that, but it bothers me that they're trying to obfuscate and pretend it isn't so.
Yeah.
Because why don't they just speak the truth when they speak to the people?
Precisely.
You know?
Yeah,
So the question you've asked is, how do we propose to grow the economy? Well, one thing we intend to do is really work on the bureaucracy and to bring more efficiencies in how the bureaucracy deals with decisions around investment in particular, so that year after year, the capital budget is not being spent.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
they're unable to get through the bureaucratic processes to spend the money. And, and they're not very good. They're not very agile when it comes to adjusting rules and dealing with legislation. And that is an area where
True.
I think we have a lot of value to
Yeah.
add because we have expertise, proven expertise in that area. Secondly, we see that the national productivity and total factor productivity is a problem. Productivity in Jamaica has been declining
Yes.
over many, many years. And we need
50-year
to change
period.
that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so that we're generating less output for the same amount of investment, and we need to fix that. So training is education and training
Oh, yes.
are critical to doing that. And we have, and as I outlined in my budget presentation, we have plans to deal with some of the chronic problems in education, which
Yes.
are really holding us back. The high levels of illiteracy and innumeracy coming out of primary school, resulting in secondary school underperformance. The fact that only, I think it's 17% of each year that leave high school, leave with the basics of
Basics.
5 subjects,
Yes.
including English and math. We have to turn that around, and we believe that involves focusing on early childhood development and primary schools, fixing the problems there, leveling up the standards, and having a serious remedial program early in the secondary schools to fix the situation for those who were already the victims of the poor primary performance before.
Yes.
And then we also want to introduce, vocational training in schools, so that we, by the time the students leave, they will have, up to level 4 hard qualification when they leave school.
Yes.
So they can go into a well-paying job, because, the economy of tomorrow is going to be less about having a degree
It's more
in
skills.
a liberal arts type education, and more about having technical skills
yes.
that can be deployed in a highly advanced economy using, the methods of artificial intelligence, the methods of robotics, and the whole way in which businesses plan their processes to be more productive and efficient. We have to prepare our children, our youngsters for that. And we also plan to deploy heart resources in a more meaningful way, including by working closely with the private sector to encourage training in the private sector. It's already happening to some extent, and we want to expand that by working closely with the private sector, because the benefit of private sector-driven training is that they are training people for the actual skills that are needed in the enterprise.
Yeah,
and that is, so there's tremendous value to doing that. So these are some of the things that we have in mind. On a more macro level, the industries that we're interested in promoting include logistics, because Jamaica is blessed by being located in the Caribbean Sea along the shipping lanes coming through the Panama Canal. We have the 7th largest natural harbor in the world with a well-developed port facility. There are other possible facilities for further development of coastal assets to tie Jamaica in to the global supply chain, where ships can come here, they can come here to be for maintenance, they can come here for provisioning, they can bring things that are not fully assembled and have them assembled here by our skilled workers and then re-exported with value being added here. And that is a major industry that, we spent $1 million US when we were in government with I think it was the IDB or the World Bank, to develop a master plan for the logistics industry. And it has not been rolled out. And it represents a big gap, and we're committed to doing that as well. And integrating that with domestic logistics as well, by encouraging, of the more efficient and more resilient infrastructure, and the integration of, our warehousing facilities and our ports and so on, and reducing the cost of energy. Dr. Sutherland, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Energy is over 40 US cents per
Cents,
kilowatt
yes.
hour, one of the highest rates in this hemisphere.
Yes.
Not the highest, but one of.
Yeah, man.
And, you cannot run a competitive economy with such high electricity charges. And we see the need to really push heavily towards the transition to renewables. Renewables are becoming more efficient, less costly. Battery storage is the technology on storage is improving year after year. Costs are coming down. So we're getting to the point where we will soon be able to generate large amounts of solar, for example, or other renewable energy, and store it so that the grid can have a more reliable source of electricity from renewables. And this government has only issued one RSP, one request for proposals, in 9 years. All of the big solar projects that exist in Jamaica were initiated under our watch, even if some of them didn't come on stream until after we emitted office. But the process to get the investors here, to have the RFPs issued, to evaluate them, etc., that was under our watch. This government dropped the ball on energy, and we're paying the price right now. It's one of the reasons why we have such a stagnant economy now. So when they sing the message about they are some, fiscally prudent and building a strong economy, it is not true. It is the fiscal rules that have made them fiscally prudent. It is the fiscal rules that have ensured that Jamaica has got its debt down. It started under the PNP and they continued it. But what they haven't done is transition to a growth-oriented economy for all the talk. And the Prime Minister must be held accountable because he is the Minister of Economic Growth. He created a ministry under his own leadership to drive economic growth, and it has been an abject failure. And he has put most of the important economy in a recession. And fly high or fly low.
Good evening again, my fans. Now this is another piece of news where hey, this one is sweet. Where PNP granted injunction against JLP government in Portmore Parish predicament. Do you remember I put out some video before where there and where Andrew want Portmore to become the 15th parish without people's consent? It's just like this man is just doing things his way and doing things like nobody counts. You understand? So you guys are gonna hear this man who is talking now is Fitz Jackson, the member of parliament, and he's going to outline and let you people know everything that was that is going on there. And the other day I read a news where the judge halted. They cannot go on with it, and they have other court dates. Suit me right, suit them right. Yes, man. They are too, bossy, and like they do things like they don't count Jamaican people. They don't count people. They just go ahead and shoving things down people's throats, which is wrong. You understand? They must, if they want to do things like this, they must seek and get the okay from the Jamaican people. If they can go ahead and do that, they just jump up and just do things like that. It's not right. It's not right. And I am so proud of Mr. Fitz Jackson for speaking out, and I'm so happy for the judge them who hearted their thing. And I pray that the day comes when the day comes and they go to court again, then just not bother with them. They must go step aside, man. They're not nice. So thanks again for listening. So please like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys. Peace out.
The following is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
These orders prevent the Minister of Local Government and any other minister in this administration from naming an effective date for the law, despite its passage through both houses and the assent given by the Governor General. The People's National Party has challenged the desperate attempt by the Holness administration to manipulate constituency boundaries under the disguise of development in the creation of a parish. This action by the court is an important step in upholding the Constitution and protecting the democratic will of the people of Portmore. The government's unilateral effort to impose parish status without proper consultation or consent from residents is undemocratic and blatant gerrymandering. The People's National Party fully supports the residents and stakeholders of Portmore in their plight for inclusion in matters that concern them and is willing to take all legal steps to ensure that their voices are heard. Portmore's unique local governance structure, which was developed and maintained by its residents since its inception, must not be overridden for political gain. The people of Portmore have long enjoyed governance through a distinct framework, and any change
.jm or check us out on Facebook at
Evening again, everyone. Now, this is another piece of hot topic. I would call it hot topic. Where Mr. Golden and Andre Horton and two others was up by somewhere in Kingston there. I'm going to read this little piece. Last evening, Change Jamaica Conversation series was a truly enlightening experience with the constituents of St. Andrew Eastern in the community of Augustown. Huge thanks to our Member of Parliament candidate CDE Patricia Duncan Sutherland for hosting this viral program. Together, we are shaping a brighter future for Jamaica, fueled by shared visions and collective actions. Let's keep working together to build a better Jamaica for all. For all people of Jamaica. Thank you, Mr. Golden, and thank you, Miss Sutherland, for putting on that, that meeting. So, guys, you will hear everything what they have to say at the end of this video, this voice note. I'm sorry. So, thank you very much again. Thank you and love you all. God bless.
Earlier this week, on Tuesday, I said, listen, man, the first place we have to start is bringing back the love, bringing back decency, bringing back care for one another, and bringing back discipline and personal responsibility in our lives. We can't go nowhere without that, We will always be underperforming. We will always be heading in the wrong direction if we don't embrace good standards of living, good moral fiber, and the right way of dealing with each other and with our Almighty God. That must be the beginning of everything. And that is my message to Jamaica. And I don't think anybody can assume that the Jamaica Labour Party under its current leadership can deliver that. Because when you look at how they have run the country, the long list of scandals that have taken place under their watch, the problems with the Integrity Commission, etc., etc. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for our country. Further, we want to be bold when we form government. We want to do some things that are going to make a big difference to the lives of the people and to give people opportunities that they don't have now to step forward in life. And we're thinking of, we can't do everything because we have to run the country. The financial and economic side of it has to be done properly because Jamaica has learned how important that is because we went through all kinds of tribulations over the years. And we've now understand the importance of making sure you stay within certain basic rules, like how you run your household. You can't do certain things if you don't have the money to do it. I just say it go. In Jamaica, you have to keep within the rules that we have set for ourselves. But the beauty of it is that there are lots of opportunities to improve things within those rules. And the beauty of it is that if we make the right decisions and the right moves now, within a decade, we'll be in a very different place. We'll be in a much better place. We have to make our people more productive so that the economy can grow and it can attract investment, and we build a virtuous circle where things are having a positive momentum, and then when investment start to rain into Jamaica, because all for one, you know the 2-3 million Jamaicans who live outside of Jamaica. Many of them in North America. Things looking a little unsettled up there. Many of them, we want to be bold.
Many of you have been following the trial of Mario Dean. Mario Dean, in 2014, was taken into custody because the police locked him up for smoking a spliff. A spliff. One day a spliff. He was put in jail and he never came back out. Only his body came out. And a mother has been grieving through all these years for a son who she lost because he had a spliff. Mark Golding, in 2015, changed the law. And in doing so, he liberated a whole host of people. I see mothers here, so many mothers here, and you know we are the ones that feel it when our sons get in trouble. We are the ones who have to hold our belly bottom as we weep when our sons get in trouble. A man to dead because of a split. So when Mark Golding changed the law, what he did was recognize the culture of our people, and he took humanity to that culture. And many of you have been.
Emmanuel was very instrumental, right? He talked about how he was going to accomplish these goals. Free education. My mother spoke of when she got uniform free, breakfast free, lunch free, everything free as it relates to school. And with that, many Jamaicans who boast themselves to be a part of the middle class today, who boast themselves to be the best lawyers, the best doctors, the best accountants, the best teachers, the best nurses, in their 60s and 50s, benefited from the foundation that was established by Michael Manley and the politics of change that embedded the philosophy of self-reliance in our Jamaican people. Manley was very instrumental, right? He talked.
Good evening. We have discussed many things, and we have heard you, and you have heard us. There are going to be many more conversations. We have another one next week in Standpipe on the 27th with the party leader, Comrade Dayton Campbell and Comrade Lambert Brown. Because we must take our policies to the people so the people can take their ideas to us. And we will continue with our Build Your Dream sessions so that you will be able to your dreams. It is late. It is 20 minutes to 10. We have done well. I thank you all very much. Comrades, time come for a change, champion. Time come for Comrade. Time come for a good evening. We have discussed.
A local company have to start pay tax even before you start recognize $1 out of your business. If you register your business January or March, come them and tell us you have to file tax return, and at 3 months you have to set up books for your account yet. This People's National Party government recognizes that and say, hey, listen, entrepreneur, you have 3 years to sort out yourself. Get your books in order. Get your things ready. Then we come discuss whether or not you should be paying tax, yes or no. I think that's a profound move, and it's a move to be celebrated by all entrepreneurs in Jamaica. A local company of
led them in certain directions which are inconvenient politically, because some of the people who are under investigation for illicit enrichment are sitting in the parliament, the 8 of them, and one of them is the Prime Minister himself, and has not been able to get past the report that they did on him, which is still outstanding and hasn't been addressed. They want to dismantle or neuter the Integrity Commission. And this is a very serious issue for Jamaica because corruption is one of the reasons why some of the things that we need we're not getting. Good road, good hospital and clinic, better facilities at schools.
And consensus, and the JLP government ignored them. Then, to make things worse, Hurricane Gilbert came in 1988 and ravaged the country. In order to rebuild, to get the equipment that we need, to get the cheap energy that we need to rebuild, we had to leverage the IMF once more. At that time, Michael Manley came into power again, and he came in and inherited a country that was destroyed throughout the 80s by the Jamaica Labour Party. The IMF, having recognized that Jamaica needs this foreign currency desperately, imposed on us what we call the Washington Consensus. So you can go and research the Washington Consensus. It was a 10-point plan aimed at moving Jamaica out of a negative reserve position to putting Jamaica on a positive developmental growth path. Now, contained in the Washington Consensus was a clause to liberalize the foreign exchange market. And when I went to the fund, IMF, in 2017, I spoke to a couple of their lawyers at the time, and they themselves admitted fault to pressuring Jamaica to institute the Washington Consensus without the necessary controls. What ensued? Because they forced us to, instead of taking our time to liberalize the foreign exchange market so the exchange rate can move from, at the time it was 4 to 1, to 5 to 1, to 6 to 1. The currency moved from 6 to 1 in 1990 to 25 to 1 in 1992 by the time Manley settled into power. Which means that if you owe somebody $6 today and tomorrow you owe them $24, 6 4s, 24. It means that the exchange rate moving from $6 to 1 to $25 to 1 saw every person's debt in foreign currency increase fourfold. So the major banks who borrowed in foreign currency, Eagle Bank, Central National Bank, Citizens Bank, these banks that borrowed heavily in foreign currency, found themselves, instead of having a debt of $6, now has a debt of $25. 4 times more. And that means the entire banking system was going to crash. The entire banking system, because of the debt imposed on us by the IMF, was about to crash. And what had to happen? The People's National Party had to take decisive action. And it was at that time when we decided that we need a commission to help the financial sector adjust to what happened due to the Washington Consensus. And that is when FinSAC was established. So FinSAC was established as the Financial Sector Adjustment Company to adjust the financial sector to the fact that the IMF imposed the Washington Consensus and push up the debt of our major banks. And in an economy, if your banks fail, all the economy fails. So we had to take decisive action. That decisive action meant that that financial sector adjustment company had to help the banks remodel and liquidate. And that is how Jamaica was able to cope with the atrocities of what the Jamaica Labour Party did to us throughout the 1980s. So when you hear them speak about FinSAC and they want the FinSAC report, the FinSAC report is no indictment on us. It is an indictment on the Jamaica Labour Party who pushed the country in the position that we found ourselves in by the early 1990s. And that is why they won't publish it, because they know that they only can put a mirage in front of your face, that it is the People's National Party who, yes, instituted FinSAC, but why? The why has to come before what exactly was done. And that is why we cannot get the FinSAC report. Throughout the 90s, Percival James Patterson took over for Michael Manley because, as you know, circumstances. And Percival James Pattison was one of the best leaders we saw as it relates to infrastructural development, as it relates to breaking down monopolies and oligopolies that existed to stifle the growth of the average Jamaican. Black Man Time Now was a slogan because he believed in the power of you, not the power of a few rich people or the power of a few people, but the power of each and every Jamaican. Where you are, how you are, you wanted you to have better, not just for yourselves, but for your children and your children's children. Over 17 schools he built. Up to now, Andrew Holness not built one. How dare he compare himself to the great one? How dare he? The highway from Portland to Westmoreland, also the highway from Kingston to St. Anne, envisioned, instituted the blueprint by Percival James Pattison. I can remember one Christmas night I made a call on my cell phone.
To return and at 3 months and to set up books for your account yet. This People's National Party government recognizes that and say, hey, listen, entrepreneur, you have 3 years to sort out yourself. Get your books in order. Get your things ready. Then we come discuss whether or not you should be paying tax, yes or no. I think that's a profound move, and it's a move to be celebrated by all entrepreneurs in Jamaica. A local company office
led them in certain directions which are inconvenient politically, because some of the people who are under investigation for illicit enrichment are sitting in the parliament, the 8 of them, and one of them is the Prime Minister himself, and has not been able to get past the report that they did on him, which is still outstanding and hasn't been addressed. They want to dismantle or neuter the Integrity Commission. And this is a very serious issue for Jamaica, because corruption is one of the reasons why some of the things that we need we're not getting. Good road, good hospital and clinic, better facilities at schools and so on. The money that should be available is not always reaching where it needs to reach because corruption in the system. So we are fully dedicated to a strong integrity commission. It will have our full support. We will not interfere with it. It is not our role to interfere with it. It must be independent. The only thing I expect of them is that they must respect due process, so that when they're investigating, they do so fairly. And then I don't want them to be an instrument of bad administration or anything of that kind. But as long as they are behaving as they should, then meaning that they're complying with the law that governs them, and fairness, the rules of fairness, we will allow them to do the investigations, to prosecute who's to be prosecuted, and we'll ensure that they have to let them certain incidents, right? And you know, you have a candidate in Trisha who is a very experienced person. She has lived through many things in life. She is very capable, and her heart is with the people. She will be an excellent member of parliament, an excellent representative for you. That's right. And you know, you have a candidate, first one, yeah, which was on Jarrett Lane, up at the top of Saunders Lane. Oh, this year, yeah, okay, boy, you had so many of them. But that one, you know, was very good because the people got involved and we had a good conversation. I learned things, because when I talk to people, I listen, you know, and I hear what they must say, and I try and think, well, how can I deal with that, and what needs to happen to make their life better. And that is how we get our ideas, by listening to the people and adjusting our policies and so on. But we're not really arrogant amongst the people. We try and be humble and down to earth because we respect everybody. And we know so we're not better than nobody. We're just here to serve the people, and because we're blessed with certain talent and certain experience and knowledge that is necessary to move the thing forward, and we're committed to doing that for all of us. So people, I just want to say the word is love. We are here, we're going to have a nice talk, and I'm going to hand over now back to Sister Peter Gay, my comrade. Take a picture. This one, Yeah, which was on Jarrett Lane, up at the top of Saunders Lane. Yes. When you won your victory in Pakistan. Believe you me, because your opponent, you don't say nothing. We just glad say you give it a victory. And I want to thank everybody inside here who played any role in that happening. You know, who step forward with Darrington and make sure say we win the Papine division. Because what? We now have the KSAMC, Andrew Sweeney is the mayor, and he's doing good things.